All right, guys, welcome to Kevin's Free Friday night. This is only the last Friday that I'm going to do this month. The door is open for anyone to walk in, and on this beautiful night, I have with us tonight
Richard Reno.
And William.
I know that, Richard, but I wanted to let you make your own introduction
Yes.
because I love that you always go Richard Reno. And I'm like, oh man,
Fanatic Seeking Recovery. But this ain't a meeting.
I mean,
So what does a podcast consist of? So is it
I mean, I have the most freedom of anybody in here to do whatever we want. Like I get the free for all. I get the whoever wants to come in. I don't make an appointment. I mean, tell me about what's going on in your life in recovery right now. Tell me what your recovery is doing for you. Tell me the best thing that your recovery has brought you this week and how grateful you are for it.
okay? The best thing, well, let me see.
Okay.
I have 2 years, 7 months, and 7 days clean.
Hey.
Yeah, so starting right there, you know what I'm saying? It's wonderful, man.
Did you get it figured out?
I woke up clean.
It's weird. It's weird that someone knew that there was something wrong because the gain was up and it was like echoing and crazy.
Oh, yeah, you have to, oh, sorry.
We figured it out.
Okay.
But it was yeah. I mean, mentally, no. But
Carry on.
Emotionally, I'm going to be fine.
Hello. Hi,
Richard.
Barbie.
Not being great.
Sorry, Richard.
Also, like I was saying, man, the best thing. So you said the question was this week in recovery, right? That's why I said 2 years, 7 months, and 7 days today.
You know, every day that you've got done that is a miracle. I was telling someone this the other day when someone with 14 days walked up, and I was like, man, that's a miracle. But like 2 years, 7 days,
2 years, 7 months, and 7 days clean.
2
and
7 7.
serene. No slips, no dips, no weekend trips, no stunts, no fronts, no drinks, no blunts.
That's
Yeah.
right.
No, none of that. You know, man, living by spiritual principles, man. It's what's man. I'm getting ready for school.
Oh, yeah, you know, I've seen you there.
MCTC. You know what I'm
I've seen
saying?
him there.
Minneapolis College, right? I'm just grateful, man. I never, you know what I'm saying? I don't put no expectations on my recovery. I'm just grateful that I get a chance to show up. I'm grateful I get a chance. Like once I wake up, I acknowledge that I had a chance to wake up, because a lot of times I probably passed out if I wasn't clean. I probably would have been coming to instead of waking up. You know what I'm saying?
So it's like living in the now.
Yeah.
Right. And that was that's one of the hardest but most fulfilling concepts of recovery. You know,
What's your name?
my name William. Yeah, me and Richard go back obviously actually from kindergarten. But the quick story is in sixth grade, we was already in the sandbox from fourth grade, but in sixth grade it was Black History Month. And we wrote a
That was
fourth grade, and we wrote a Black History rap, and we said it, and like they made us stand in front of the whole school and do it. It was so good. So we started rapping together. We come from two similar but separate backgrounds. Like he come from a situation, whereas the distribution, and I was more so come from a situation of the like the violent part of being, you know, in the lifestyle, the drugs and everything. So my big brother, his family, like, you know, we complimented each other on them parts. Like, you know, if it was somebody to go get, we get them. If it was a way to get money. So we kind of like grew up around.
Hey, what was? Hold on, I'm gonna cut you off because like he asked a specific question, right?
Mhm.
Before we get into the
Background.
background, that was the question was, what is
What's your recovery doing for you this week? Like, what's the best thing that you can say that like has amounted up? And I love what you guys are talking about because like I'm hearing that you were on the artificial replacement of life, was what we were all on, was the artificial
I
replacement of
like
life.
that, right?
And then all of a sudden we woke up one day and we started living our lives. I hear people every day say things that normal people wouldn't understand. They're like, I got my license today. And people are like, yeah. And they're like, and we know how big of a deal it is because we never had nothing. Nothing. I can't remember a day in my, and I was so happy with it. You know, someone was like, you look really good tonight. And I was like, I clean up straight out of a dumpster sometimes, you
Hey,
know.
listen, hey, listen, can I add to that? So the thing is, right? He just stated that we both from the projects in Chicago, right?
Right.
But I can't say that I never had. I always had, right? But the means and the ways that how I got those things was by ill-gotten gain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I never really
Appreciate it.
appreciate. I took it for granted my whole life until I didn't have it. And you know, because so they say the same things make you laugh, make you cry, and the same things that make you cry, soon one day make you laugh, right? So the things that I had that I didn't, because I own my own home at 19.
Look at you. Look at you right now. What you just said a second ago, you're like, and I know this because I seen you there. I'm in school. You're in college right now, learning all sorts of stuff and bettering yourself. Like, would you have been there?
No,
In a sense, would you have been there with you know all the ego and the stuff that comes with like I can work on the corner and make whatever?
So I never wanted a job. Only time I would get a job is when I was on parole and it was required of me. Like other than that, and then when I got my check, I was like, who the fuck is FICA?
Right.
That's fuck
Right.
FICA. Whoever the fuck FICA is, they owe me some money, and I'm taking this 600 or this 250, whatever they gave me off the first check, and I'm going to holler at my mans and them, and we getting back in the game, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's all, and that's it. That's what it was. But just the key thing. But you did say something that I want my man to speak because what happened this week for you in recovery, William? I want you to say that because it's this, and you spoke a slight on it, but I want him to say it.
Yeah, okay, so the spiritual principles have really been moving in my life. I was in a situation where I was being overcharged to rent, and the person that owned the property just came to me one week and was like, next week I'm turning this into a sober house. You basically got to vacate the premises. I'm going to put you in one of my other properties, just like without even asking me. Like, and it was like I almost was gone, but I was able to obtain my own apartment, really nice apartment, and all the things, you know, furniture and everything. You know, I was just blessed. But and with what he said earlier, really touched on it. The most valuable thing that I have obtained in my personal recovery this week is peace. Like, I think, like, out of all the noise of life, I really have peace of not waking up. Like nothing is a rush now.
Nothing's. Oh man, I love it. I love it how you brought that up. I mean, I talked about a lot of those things for my time that I've been here. I remember being like, I got on probation. And everyone's like, yeah. It was just funny because I've been on probation since 2007. So not a day went by where I wasn't worried if I was going to have to pee and it was going to be dirty. And that was just the way it was. Or I was going to pee, it was going to be dirty, and I was going to go on the run. And that was where my head was at. And, you know, like it's one of those things, like DMX talks about it in his song, The Rain. He's like, you know, he's like, you can stop the rain. You don't have to sit under the rain cloud anymore. Right. And like, yeah, all those things are great. And it's amazing. It's a blessing. You know, God's in your life when you got that, when that's happening. That happened to me today on the highway. I'm driving I don't even know what you call it. Pulling a 30,000 pound tractor behind a truck. in my recovery, someone just handed me this, so I'm like, okay, you know, whatever. But like, I always know that God's there for me when I come into like a crazy situation, and it just opens up for me, and it becomes that much more easier. Because I'm not from here. I don't drive in the city. I was like, I'm lucky to be in these moments, and I try to recognize that every time that happens, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm like where I'm supposed to be at, right?
And that was, and we was discussing the eighth tradition, and you know, because being in the recovery field, you know, most people, you know, they come and you're taught to get into recovery, you know, to make a living, and but the thing about it is, the living that we make in recovery isn't, you know, like we when you come into those rooms, nobody's getting a paycheck for what they're doing. You know, we're showing up. Like, you know, how do you know somebody love you? So because they doing it on their own, on the wheel, you know, they are not, it's just their how they're coming. So, you know, what we doing it, we not doing for a paycheck. You know, like working in recovery, you can get paid. There's nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying, working in the field. But what I'm saying, like, this is something that affected my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real issue, like a real deal thing for me. So it's like, now I never knew how to incorporate it into a lifestyle. So, you know, now that I understand the program, the lifestyle, why it's so important to have a sponsor, you know, to have a peer group, you know, we
who you hang out with and what's going on with that is, oh man. And you know what's funny? People that have life figured out that don't have addiction know this. You know, I hang out with a lot of old timers that have been clean for a long time. And they said something to me that was real interesting. They're like, you're not going to bring anything to the table that I've not tried to do. I want to hear about your business. I want to hear what you want to do next. I want to hear what your big goals are. You're probably not going to bring something to the table that's like this new great idea. We've all tried to work real hard to get up and we help each other here. And I was like kind of blown away by that because I was invited to this like real closed circuit thing. It's like outside of, you could just show up to this meeting. It's like they call you and like, we meet different places every week. And it's real neat that I was invited to this thing, but I'm sitting there with these guys and nobody at the table has less than 30 years. And not saying that, you know, people that have made it a long time are any distance from we're all the same distance from the ditch.
right.
And I'm like reminded that when I get to sit at the table with those guys. They're like, whoa, we're all the same distance from the ditch. You know, I've seen people fall off, and I've also seen people, I see miracles every day. You guys see miracles every day.
Yeah.
We live miracles. You guys help people. And every time you help somebody, you learn something about yourself, right? Tell me about that.
Yeah.
All right, so it's amazing. It's amazing, right? So speaking of that, man, something was on my spirit the other day. I was on Facebook and I seen another member of the program. He had went back home to Houston, right?
Mhm.
And I had and I know how it could be going back to places where you used before, where you come from, and that's all you know, the old lifestyle and all that. Something just told me to call him. And we had about an hour conversation, like, and I shared with him a lot of things, and and I was just checking on him, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Out of love and concern.
That's a good thing to
and just
do.
let him just say, because the remind, really, I would just to give him some experience, strength, and hope, and let him know that, man, it's a we program, right?
Yeah.
So I know what it means when to be there for somebody and for somebody to be there for me to help me stay clean. Because just like coming into in the environment where I met you in college, right? I met you in college.
I met you at a Tuesday night NA meeting in St. Paul, but
In St. Paul, right? No.
But we connected
and I seen you, right?
because I worked in the recovery room, and like we got, you know, like you knew right away. You're like, I know you.
And I seen you. No, so right, you're right. I seen you at a meeting in St. Paul, and then I come to the recovery room in the school that I go to, and you're in there and working and facilitating and giving me strength, give me some experience and some hope still from that we can still thrive and be successful in society as addicts. You know what I'm saying? As recovering addicts. That's like so is it and so
And guess what? Guess what? You get to be yourself. Show up and be open about what it is that you've been. Like, you don't even have to tell anyone any of the stuff that you've done. Everyone kind of, they can tell by the way we jive through life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've reformed a little bit. I'm like able to speak sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, like, you know, college educated, but I just graduated. You know?
Professionally.
And that's like, that's a crazy thing to say. I'm not even working in my field right this second. I took a job that's super crazy for the summer and losing weight. But like, long story short, I just got hit up and reminded something by all these people that aren't in recovery. They're advocates for recovery, or they're friends of recovery, or they're people that, like, you know, work in that field, but don't know what we know.
Don't have the
They
experience.
don't have that lived experience. But they were reminding me that, you know, and I had to, my boss always says this. He's like, yeah, call it GP 4.0, blah, 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 all this like stuff, right? But, you know, I'm not that smart. I just know how to work hard. And I took that from like before, because I had to work hard for what I had. Like, we worked so hard to stay where we were at.
Correct.
3 times as hard as a normal person. We have things that people don't understand. They're so amazing. I see it every day when we walk into a meeting. We see people that are thriving that shouldn't even be alive.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be alive.
since you're looking at those people, like, and according to where I came from, or the things he's done, the things that the way that we live, the chances and the risks that we took in order to get one more, or in order of what we thought was normal. You know what I'm saying? So I wrote this down, right, when I was asking William, and he started explaining what was going on in his week, right? But as he was explaining it, he was saying something about how people take advantage of recovery, of the recovering addict for gain, like for money. Like, it's so this is something that I personally watch him go through, and I've also paid attention, and I watch, and it hinders. So like the everybody want to get a sober living, or get a treatment facility, and don't hire nobody who actually has the experience. So
Right.
So there's no spiritual principle in the facility at all, because it's only for percentage. It's for capital.
But what I'm hearing you say is, and that if you build your foundation on your recovery and your program, everything else will fall into place. Because let's be real for a second, you know, it's your recovery. You get to do anything you want with it. And like, it's crazy to say, when you see people show up and how they show up, you can tell, right? When a person is living by the spiritual principles, when a person is living by the steps, when a person is, and I'm not going to lie, I love to say I'm not perfect because I blew up today, but I'm able to say that the best thing that my life has been able to bring me, my recovery has been able to bring me lately, is, and my father was the worst blow up. Like, I don't look like the guy to blow up. Have you ever seen me blow up? I know a lot of people have around here. I'm able to like not blow up today. Like I've been in a sober house for 3 years, and I have a lot of things there, and they're mine. And if someone's like eating my eggs, I can like for half a second be like, you know what, that person is hungry and needed that. And like, maybe they crossed the line and they don't have the same beliefs that I have, but I have the ability to recognize that anger is a sickness I put on myself because of someone else's mistake. And then like, that's taken me a lot of like blow ups
Or choice.
Right.
Well, Richard and
Peace. You were saying peace, like
Right.
oh
That gave-
man.
and that was the part out because like Richard, he don't know how much he inspired me because when life show up, the first thing is fear. Fear tries to consume you. So
Ooh.
how are you gonna get through this? You know, normally you need something to get your head clear.
See, mine is anger.
You see, so but Richard always remind me, man, it's just like it's gonna work itself out, you know. But the spiritual principles and like it even happened again today. I've been having the hardest time getting identification here in Minnesota. I've only been in Minnesota for a few months, so I've been trying to get my state ID and I have and get my driver's license and everything, but it's always something. So I went back to the DMV today, and they told me after I just paid like 40 some bucks for the ID, they said, well, you're gonna have to give us another 26. I'm like, I'm not giving you any more money. Like I paid you. Like, why do I have to keep paying you and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do? But you know, I was really upset. So I was like, you know what? The tools that I was taught, walk it off. Just don't deal with it right now. You know, just don't just jump into it. And that's why I was talking about the peace. Like if I allow myself not to just deal with like when stuff, like if I'm having a bad day, I've learned how to just lay down. Let that day go through. Don't stay in that day. Why would I? Because if I'm starting to live in my head, then I'm gonna start getting ideas. And once I start getting ideas, then it's a problem.
It's all bets are off.
And so that's why. So but every time I just wait and just let and because you know people tell you trust your higher power, but they never tell you how to access that higher power. So for me, accessing the higher power is just getting out the way, sitting down, or going, and letting it transpire. Every time I do that, it works out in my favor. So to me, that's my higher power. Don't be rash. And I watch him calm. Like it's certain situations I could never be as calm as he. Like I call him the golden child of recovery. Like like he lives. But if you my inspiration, you my inspiration.
He said, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
Because he deals with things on a way better basis than I do.
Hey, so can I say something? Right. So listen, I posed that question about people taking advantage of recovery, right? And I love the way you just went totally seeing and use the principles so what he said when you said it's how I show up in my recovery, right? And so that made me think that people are going to do what they're going to do, but what am I going to do about it? And that just made me think. So it's the thing that it's going to always be somebody that try to take advantage of things. That's how life is, right? So this is the point where I'm going to school, right? And I'm so grateful for you saying what you just said and didn't buy into the conversation and get to talking about the other people, because the focus always got to be on me and what I'm doing to help in that situation. Because if I know there's people out there, and I thank you for that, I really thank you for that. So,
there was a time when recovery was taboo. When like you were in recovery, do you want to come on the show? Yeah. Okay, I just making sure you can come in and
there's another chair.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, there was a time when for me recovery, I had a hard time being like, I'm a heroin junkie, and I don't want to do this anymore. And then I had a hard time going back into society and trying to pretend like that wasn't me. And so, I didn't live by that truth. I lived by that lie, and I didn't make it. And I can tell you how many days I've been clean this time, how many years, months, days, and hours, and minutes. I can tell you the exact minute that I decided. I didn't decide. I lost the exact minute I was going in jail. And I can tell you the exact minute. I didn't go to school. I was going to steal a copier because I wasn't sure if Alaska was coming for me at the time. And I got talked into maybe getting the money. And then money didn't come, so I ended up doing well. And I came into meetings thinking, I'm gonna hook up with a girl in here. And I've been so respectful since I've got to meetings. I don't ever pick out girls at meeting, and little things.
That's
good.
The
question, how do you want to be remembered? How are you living your recovery? What does that look like? Hi.
Hi.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Can you move closer to the mic, Kiana? By the way, this is Jody.
Hi, Jody. I'm sorry. These
What's
guys.
your name?
My name is Jody.
Jody
Yeah.
Kevin.
And Kiana.
and Richard.
welcome to Kevin's Free. I always call it Kevin's Free because when I first started, I was like, Kevin's first 2 are free, and that sounds like a drug dealer thing. And then, so the first 2 Fridays are open door for people to walk in, and I thought it was funny because I've been out of jail for a while. I did 10 years, but Kevin's free. Other people used to say it all the time. Is Kevin free? And I'd be out running, and they're like, he's not running from the cops. He's just running. And so
Yeah,
I was
can't catch him.
I was
He's too
given
busy.
this opportunity and this platform by chance of the people that I knew and the luck. And so I love coming here. It's been the hardest day of my life. I didn't mention that, Richard. It's the hardest day of my life today. And the funnest thing I get to do is this. The funnest thing I get to do is show up and connect with people. And it brings me alive. What's going on? What's the best thing, that what's the
Happened this week.
the best thing your recovery is bringing you right now?
I'm playing.
I mean, I hear a lot of answers. I think that's great. People don't understand. Some people don't understand. Some people that
I
have
think-
never been there would never understand that.
I think just saying I'm clean is such a powerful statement. To be that powerful, to say that with people that you don't know
I know you,
is
Jody.
really, really very vulnerable.
I know Jody.
And I appreciate that.
Thanks, Jody. I know Jody.
From where?
My name's No No. They call me No No on the street.
Rut-row.
No No.
Yeah, and I said rut-row.
Yes, I know. Do you remember me, Jody?
I don't, because I blacked out a lot.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, I blacked out a lot. My kids remember more than I do, which is a sad affair.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how proud I am, Kiana, that you are on here, that you are breaking your comfort, because I can tell you are not comfortable.
Thank you. 'Cause I'm
That's good.
And but the thing is though, when she get to talking, she says a lot. So she's powerful and she put effort. So she shows effort. I can tell you this because I know you. I don't love you. So listen, the efficacy that you put into your recovery, because that's how it works, right? And how it works. 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. How it works. It states. I'm gonna go straight to because I love the literature from that program and I love that program, right? I'm a member. So how it works.
I like it how you say that. I'm a member.
Yes.
I belong. I belong to something.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yeah, I'm going to be real with you. I go to a lot of meetings, and I do college meetings, which is interesting, right? I'm also like a hardcore advocate of AA, but I also am the worst heroin addict on the planet, and so I show up to those places and I connect with those people in ways that, like, being able to see all these different pathways and realize that they're all valid, and you like stand behind something. You're like, this is what I'm doing.
So in how it works, and I was speaking on the effort, right? And I shared about this in a meeting one day. I was blessed to have somebody ask me to share, and I shared about this particular sentence. If you want what we have to offer and are willing to make the effort to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps, right?
Yeah.
So it takes effort. It don't mean that you're going to get it overnight. You're going to get it like this, but if you continue to put forth the effort,
Right.
then you're ready to take the certain steps, right? And so that means that encompasses like that's the how. You know what I'm saying? If you're willing to do the how, and I notice that you're willing to do the Kiana. So that's,
I saw her out there, curious about what's going on in here,
yeah.
Yeah.
and she was like, enough
She was peeking
entertained
over
by
the
what was
edge.
happening, that she looked like she, you know,
She was peeking over the ledge to see what
but
was going on.
but just the invite in, and I want you to know this too. This is something like everywhere else. If people are that open and inviting into all these different pathways of recovery, people come in. And nobody makes it without the people that are uncomfortable, right? For one, it reminds us what it was like. Like we
Yeah.
aren't uncomfortable anymore. I mean, I got a show here.
Yeah,
I like have
yes,
open door. I
yes,
talk to people.
yes.
I'm not that uncomfortable anymore. I can talk to anyone. I can stop someone on the street talking about anything. But I was so uncomfortable because it's so hard
Yeah.
to wake up and start living in the real world.
To live
Yeah.
different.
Make
To
it-
live
It's
different.
Make a
hard.
conscious effort to live differently.
To live different.
That's the part
That's
that
it.
that's the part that I wake up every morning and I'm like, all right, I want to be the type of girl that when I wake up, Satan says, oh shit, she's awake again. She's on the floor. She's ready to go. What's next? You know,
Hey,
I want to be that type of girl.
You're welcome to do what you want. You're a free man. Kevin's free,
Kevin, I
and
love it.
look at you, free.
I'm gonna,
Free as everything. How long you been clean, Kira?
Kiana,
Kiana.
yes. This time, 14 days.
That's a
Congratulations.
beautiful miracle. 14 days is like great. You know,
24 hours is huge. 14
24
days
hours
is
is
amazing.
huge. 14 days is where the miracles are happening.
And when I started understanding what I was reading, like applying it, watching, and following, you know, they say
Yeah.
get in the middle. I may not have gotten in the middle, but I was holding on to the coattail. Like I'm holding on to the back of your shirt.
Right, I'm riding this with you.
Yeah.
I'm getting on this roller coaster with you.
Because the book says so. And, you know,
Yeah.
now that I know that there's information that gives me instructions, and I know a lot of times they say, suggestions. No, I'll take it as an instruction to do something different.
Right,
I would rather be reprogrammed. Reprogrammed to something new,
right.
to a new.
No one likes being told what to do, so
That's
the
what
only way to really give a good instruction is to hopefully suggest it to somebody. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anyone how to live their lives. I have to be really interesting in here because people come in and speak about their programs, and I'm like, never not want to support that.
Yeah.
Right. You know, and that's awesome. But those suggestions that come, everybody has your best interests. And I think that if we thought about this like this, that if we had more people that were better in the community, that got better, the community would be better.
Yeah.
And that's something to think about here. That if everybody got better, the community would be better. So it's in our best interest to help other people. But like really, truthfully, deep down inside, people don't realize this. Helping somebody else teaches you things about yourself, you know? And so like, however you want to put that, like connecting with people and like doing things, going outside your comfort zones, maybe watching people sing karaoke for like a while before you decide to stand up and do it, you know? I do it now.
I can't.
You will. You might if it's something.
You know what? We do girls. Sorry. Can I talk about the girl songs that we do?
Yeah.
We, some of the girls will get together and we'll do like girls just want to have fun or 9 to 5 or something incredibly goofy and something that's not serious. Just to get our yayas out, just so that we can get out of our comfort zone. Paul, the person who runs this, along with his lady Carolyn, he always says, "Get comfortable with being uncomfortable."
When I tell you, last Friday was the first time I ever came. I never been here. But Richard brought me in my birthday. I turned 49 last August, the 7th. And it was so much fun. When I tell you that made my whole entire day. Like watching them sing, it just felt it. Just sitting there watching them sing, the other people sing, it was so much fun. It felt
Yeah.
like I feel like I don't know. It just so free for like
No one's here to judge
it was so
anybody.
exciting.
Like, some
I really
people-
enjoyed myself.
Some people do really well, but we all know that anybody that does really well, like I perform here sometimes, so, and I got like 25 years
Oh, that's good.
performing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, like, for me to go out and
I
not,
just sing in the church choir. I'm like one of them.
last week I did the most uncomfortable song. I did a rap song last week.
Did you?
I did an atmosphere song that was like a true breakup song. And it's funny because like I have albums and I have things that I put together. But here no one knows that, and it's outside of my comfort zone. And it was great to let go. I don't always get to let go so easy. I walked into here very uncomfortable. Trying to be somebody maybe that I wasn't, or whatever, or figuring out who I was. I guess, that was something that somebody had reminded me recently. It was like recovery isn't about it's about finding out who you are, and like we don't know who we are because we are who we all the traits that we carried that made us survive out there, however we survive. That's really kind of scary to think about, because we don't have to survive anymore. We get to figure out how to live.
And that's what the fun part of. I'm so glad that Richard brought me last week. Like I said, it was my birthday, so I actually had fun. I felt like a kid again. Even though I didn't get up there and sing, I enjoyed it, and that's the part of showing. Like there's fun in recovery. Like it was so
It
much
doesn't
fun.
have to be boring.
Yeah, that's what.
It's okay when it's
know,
boring. There's no-
Before, right. It is okay when there's nothing going
I go
on.
home and go to sleep early. I get up at 3:30 in the morning. I was telling
Yeah.
some people the other day that I was kind of lame. That was a while ago. I'm kind of a lame. And they go, no, you're not. You're professional. We all do it eventually.
Mhm.
And I'm not saying that to be in recovery, you have to like follow any path. You know what? You get to do what you want. If you want to live your first 3 years going to NA parties and going out to like all sorts of dances and fun stuff,
Have at it. Get as involved as you possibly can. When I first got clean, when I very first got clean, it was not by choice. My daughter had found me. I had OD'd again. It was something's going on out there.
it's
It was the worst day of my life.
Yeah.
But that was the day I decided enough. Enough is enough. I think that being sober isn't just not using. It's not just
It's a lifestyle change.
right. It's finding new friends. It's finding right. It's finding your new sandbox. It's finding your new sandbox. It's finding your new space. Where is my space? Where do I fit? How am I going to continue to be sober if I don't know where I fit?
And that was big for me. Because this time, 14,
Mhm.
prior to that, I had 8 months. I was going on 8 months, and I relapsed. So 14. Yeah. So that was part of my struggle in the beginning, trying to figure out where I fit.
you look like you carry a lot of shame about that.
Yeah.
I grieved. Yes, this time. Yes,
I,
I grieved it.
I
I
heard-
definitely grieved my clean time.
I've had a lot of relapses.
But also had to find out that even though I lost the time, I didn't lose the wisdom.
You
that
didn't
came along
lose.
with it.
You haven't lost any of the wisdom.
No, the wisdom I did not lose.
You can hear it in the way that you're. I mean, Hey, listen, you know how hard it is to show back up to a meeting with 14 days and be like, I just crawl back in. I know better. I know better, but I'm here, and that's why I know better, and that's why I'm here. I
Look,
love that.
Thank you.
no one walks through these doors on a winning streak, and it is 9 o'clock, y'all.
Is that time it closed? Yo,
No one walks through these doors on a winning streak. Not a soul.
I do what I want. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, however I want. I'm allowed to shut it down or open it up. I'm the most free of all the people that get to do things in here.
Okay.
That's not true, but I am Kevin's free. Kevin is free.
And so this week, I want to talk to you about what happened to me this week. So, okay, I live on my own, and I have this fabulous sassy cat. Well, I'm trying to get my laundry done, you know, living in the moment, trying to get my crap done. And my cat got out. And instead of panicking and freaking out and thinking, shoot, I really wish I could just drink right now, because I didn't know where she was. She's all black, so she hides in little corners. I found her. She wasn't far, but that was the scary point of my entire week was, oh my gosh, what a crappy owner am I. I left my door open. Now my cat's gone, and I'm never going to see her again. That's where my mind went.
And
So,
God brought your cat back?
yes. She was hiding in a little, she's a big girl. She's 15 pounds. So I don't know how she decided to hide in this little bitty corner. She was hiding in this little bitty corner and making this little bitty meow. And when I found her, I picked her up, and she scratched me. So I did everything I could to set her down ever so gently. And that was my big,
I love it that you
To
lost
do.
your cat and not your recovery.
right.
I mean, that's a good conversation. I lost my cat, you know,
And not my recovery, because at first I wanted to just run to my neighbors and have a drink, because I thought I would never see my cat again.
I know you've been on here before, but introduce yourself.
Hi, good evening. I'm Casey, and I'm an addict. Probably an alcoholic if I could find some booze. Definitely criminal thinking patterns. Yeah, I know. I used to really chase beautiful women like you around too. If I saw a woman like you, that was another problem I had. I'm just going to be honest. I want to be upfront. If you're a beautiful woman, watch out, because I will notice you.
When I first met Casey, he came into these meetings kind of like I did and was like, I'm all over the board. And we found out real quickly how to be respectful and what that looks like. And
Yeah.
And today I can say that, and he said this to me once, but I'm saying it back to him right now. The amount of capital growth you put into yourself makes you so valuable right now. The question of the day that I asked everyone else.
I see it here, that how people take advantage of recovery for money.
No.
Well, before we get to that, she was talking about behavior that she wasn't proud of, you know. And
Right.
recently, I had some behavior that I definitely was not
Right.
proud of.
I
as
was
well.
so ashamed of myself. I'm glad nobody was there, because
Well,
I was on a freak out moment.
Mine was there where I had to apologize to some strangers, you know, and that's you know, it's been a while probably since I was getting high that I had to like even consider like just apologizing to some random folks about my obnoxious behavior. But long story short, I hop on the bus, you know, and I sit down, and there's this guy, and you know, just a regular guy on his way to work, you know, and he pulls out his fingernail clippers and he starts clipping his fingernails and bopping them all over the place. I'm not kidding you, right? That's my thought. It's disgusting, and so I'm just kind of giving this brother the look, like, what is wrong with you? And in my opinion, thankfully, he notices me giving him the jive head, the rubbernecking, you know, like.
What are
And he asked me, "Do you have a problem?" And I said, "Well,
10
yeah,
of them?
I got about 9 at this point. Dink, dink, dink." You know, so I said, "Were you raised in a barn?" You know what I mean? Like, use your head, sir. You know, and like my tone is not always great. I wasn't proud of my tone. I wasn't, you know, it's not my place. You know, and had he been 6 foot bigger
One of
than
those
me, you know, had he
things-
been like a big man, I wouldn't have done this. But since he's just some little dude clipping his fingernails, I feel like
Right.
I'm a big important person, you know, and it's not my job to police anybody or take anybody's inventory. But here I am, you know, hollering it, and so it starts to heat up a little bit. You know, he chirps back like "mind your own business," which is true. You know, we're both right, and we're both wrong here. You know, so I'm like, yeah, but you've made it my business, sir. So let's just clean it up. You know what I mean? At this point, you know, I'm starting.
One
to,
of those fingernails could have landed in your eyeball.
Well, I was starting to think about all the gross stuff that I've done and stuff. But you know, I've smoked meth at a bus stop. You know what I mean? Like you know, I've blown $2,000 at the casino and then stole a cherry pie on the way home. You know what I mean? I'm not a
Uh-huh.
saint. You know what I mean? So
But
Are you talking
I
about
wanted to
Toby's?
say, but I wanted to tell you when I said your name. Do you recognize me? I love coming to class to see you. Do you? You don't recognize me? I cut my hair off. I used to wear the scarves on my hair. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. It
so
used to make my day. Like, that's one thing about recovery.
3 of the 5 people that were in here tonight.
Know each other.
No, well, we all are in recovery
Yes.
and in college at Minneapolis College. I just graduated. I'm not there. I've been there for too long. I worked in the recovery room and stuff. And you do look really familiar. I mean, but it's just amazing when
It's the community.
I always think when I start talking to people, everyone's I'm in recovery. I was in a hot tub at like some gym and like
you are in school?
Am I in school?
Yeah, with us.
No,
Where do I know you from?
exactly. You got to figure it out.
You didn't say class, though. I thought so. I
Uh-huh.
mean, the only classes I go to are like disobedience class, treatment classes. People call that class. I've been to a lot of those. The one I just graduated, though. I mean, I graduated partner behavioral at the beginning of the year, but that was like an outpatient or
Yes.
a telehealth.
Yes, on the corner. On the corner of the building and of the street. Right there on the corner of the church or something. It's like a church. Something across the street. It's a restaurant.
Fellowship.
Hello.
So on right on Lake Street. Yes. Okay.
She's like, hello.
No, that was different.
How
No.
are you?
Partners was where I went after I got kicked out of that treatment, and I got kicked out of that treatment on some BS. Like the last couple treatments I got kicked out of, it wasn't even for getting high. You know what I mean? And that goes to show you that it's a lifestyle change. It's
Yeah.
not just about
Right.
getting drugs. You know what I mean? It's not just about
Yep.
not putting drugs in my system. It's also about not acting like an animal. You know what I mean? Like the last 2 treatments, it wasn't even about drugs. It was just about my behavior. So, like in I'm coming up on 18 months here by the grace of God here on the 7th of next month. Thank you. And
I'm going to revert back to what I just said about you investing in yourself so much. And not because you're really worth something, but because you're really worth something. And you even if you don't see it, you said it to me once and I didn't see it when it was said, but I've watched your growth here. And that's another thing that's amazing about coming to meetings and sticking around is you get to see other people's growth,
Yeah.
you know,
love
and
it.
and that's like fuel.
I have seen it's just not to, but the gentleman that was just sitting, Richard Reno, I have watched since 12/12/24. And when I tell you to the moon, Alice, it makes me when I watch other people grow like that, like when I see in recovery,
Mhm.
because I'm watching you to learn. I'm watching you do like he
Right.
was the Papa Bear class, like he watched over everybody. That's why I'm telling you, I remember your spirit thing.
my last name is Shorey, and people used to call me Papa Shore. You know, like, man, I used to drive my buddies crazy, but they also loved it. Like, I was the one who would look out for you, but also the
Yes.
one who would also smack you when you were doing something dumb, but also the one to
Uh-huh.
smack the other people that came at you when you were doing
Yes,
something dumb as
that's
well.
him.
Big brother
Right.
style, yeah.
Right.
I
But
love
you
that.
wasn't a
I can
very
smack my
gentle
bro,
time.
you can't.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I can smack my bro, you can't.
Thank you. And that's the difference. That's how you know it's a brother when you're willing to fight him as well. Friends, you won't
Right.
always fight a friend.
You
But
know
you'll fight
what?
your brother, and
You
then
know-
go to war with him, and then go to war at him.
Yeah.
know?
I've
Yeah,
I've
that's-
always said if it comes down to it, I would rather have an enemy that's alive than a friend that's dead. Straight up.
I'm gonna say this and get out. But I love the reason why I love having examples people that has went before me, and I can tug on you and ask questions. It's because now, not only I don't have to figure it out. I don't have to figure it out. I have you I could come to. I have you I could come to. Like I don't have to
Right.
figure it out on my own no more. I don't have to bump my head. And that was the thing about being open-minded. Like I wouldn't allow myself to be open-minded enough to where, because you're taught to be independent. In recovery, you lean on other people.
You're taught to be interdependent.
And excuse me.
Interdependent. You rely on yourself, but you also rely
in
on the
recovery.
community.
Yes, ma'am. In recovery.
Yep.
So yes, ma'am. So I'm learning. I'm being reprogrammed to something way better than what I've ever been programmed to have, which was all that sadness and independence, and I don't need you when I need you.
Yeah.
You know, and it feels good to be able to say I need you. You know what I mean? Like it might sound like, but yeah, I'm gonna go. Love y'all. Thank you.
I'm so glad I got to see you again.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
real.
You're shining.
Kiana,
You're
Yeah.
beautiful.
amazing.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Keep it up.
You're doing a great
Keep it up.
job.
You are doing great.
Thank you.
Carry the message and the positivity forward.
I love you. Yeah.
Casey,
Send someone else
Yeah.
back.
Yes,
Send
ma'am.
someone in.
I waited for 2 trains for that, bro. There was one each way. One of them totally stopped on the tracks. At that point, I was saying a little prayer. I didn't expect to say a prayer on the way to McDonald's, but there I was saying a little patience prayer, and then
Right.
fathomed by the fact that and I even told my cohort, it's better to hit the train on the way there because everyone's food will be cold if we hit the train on the way back.
Right.
Well, what happens on the way back? There's another train going the other way. And I said, well, we did our best,
Right.
but
So-
I already had my freak out.
what Casey's not mentioning is that I let him take my car because he's trustable.
Yeah.
I handed him my credit card because he's trustable, and he drove up the street to McDonald's. What I
Because he's trustable.
didn't tell him was that you can get off on the freeway right there, get off on the next, what do you call it, and bypass the whole train. I work right there, right next to that McDonald's.
Yeah. I remember I was discussing that. I wasn't even quite sure where the McDonald's was. So
Yeah, it's like
the
right.
secret bypass was not happening. Although we discussed it. We mentioned that we wish we knew. We wish that we knew one. So we knew that there was something in the world that was out there, a mystery, but we waited.
So I waited this whole time. Everyone else got asked this question.
Yeah.
What is the thing that I guess I've said it millions of ways, but like maybe I'm refining it better. What is like the best thing that your recovery is bringing you right now?
I mean, I guess the thing that I just really am digging a lot is like the stability is somewhat cool. You know what I mean? The predictability of like knowing what each day is going to look like for the most part. You know what I mean? Like that's something that's kind of new. Being employed, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, the other day they're cutting my food stamps off, but I've been on them for so long that like I feel institutionalized. I don't know what it's like to spend cash on food, you know what I mean? And I know that's a weird thing. Like most of America doesn't live that way. So I don't know. Like I guess maybe it's partly my independence, you know what I mean, which goes along with that, and like getting off of food stamps is part of that. Like my family was like, oh, you should fight it. And what can we do? And I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be on food stamps anymore. I don't want to live like that anymore. So a whole new mindset, you know what I mean? Of independence and like wanting more for myself. It used to be like, what can I get for free and continue to have my addiction going? And now it's like, what can I go out there and do on my own? What can I do for me and for my family and for my name and for God? And for my community? It was all about me before. Like, what can I get for me for free and cheap and easy and steal it if I need to? And now it's like, who can I help? I'm trying to give my time away, trying to give my money to the right places. And before it was 100% the opposite, So I've put a lot of effort and time and focus into me and my own stock, but in doing so, I've also taken the focus off of myself, if that makes any sense. And I think that's an important piece, is that, I think that's where my continued sobriety will lie, is in service work. and carrying the message for them. You know, and I don't even have a sponsor. I should, you know. The last one I had kind of burned me, and it put a bad taste in my mouth. And I know that's just dumb to understand that one person messed up and we had one kind of relationship that was bad, but I thought about making you my sponsor. You know what I mean? I can't like make somebody your sponsor, but I'm like, you know what? We might be too much close of friends. You know what I mean? Like
You guys
a
hear
sponsor's
this?
a weird relationship. You know what I mean? If there's anybody out there listening who
I had a guy tell me recently the most powerful thing a sponsor said was there's no I in team, but there's 3 U's and shut the F up and listen
yes.
to everybody else and how they're doing it. And it's funny because, like, you know, I said that to my coworker today, not that, but I was like, there's no I in team, but there's 3 U's and shutting the F up. And I love to say that to him because he yells all day or whatever, but sometimes he doesn't always have important things to say. And in a meeting, everyone has important things to say, even if you get to take what you want from it. Get what you want, take what you want, however you want to put it. It's your option to figure out where you fit in, what you want to hear, what you like about what you're hearing, how you're going to apply that to your life, what you're going to do with that. You know,
Well, I really respect you, you know, and that's part of the reason I've even considered, you know, like it takes a lot for me to even consider someone to ask to be even considered to be a sponsor. You know what I mean? And I don't know that you've got what it takes.
he's asking the guy who works I think I worked 65 hours this week.
Well, they say
He knows this too. He's like,
they
60
say
65 hours, I think I worked
they
this
say
week.
you should look. You should.
It's only Friday too.
You should ask the person who's got what you
I'm
want,
working tomorrow.
who's got what you want. And for me, it's a car and your business credit card that buys me frappes. Those are the things that I want.
I love that you said what you said. Not a single person said that. I wasn't hoping, but I was hoping that no one was going to say, you know, because we've all done it. We're like, yeah, I got my life back, and these are all the things I got, and these are the things I did. I graduated treatment, I graduated college, I like got money today. I was like, oh my god, I was able to like walk down the street and not say yes to the person trying to sell me fentanyl in the corner. But at the end of the day, when I asked that question to 4, and I don't know everybody very well, but random people that walked in here, and everyone said character assets instead of, you know, objects or things that we've gained. They were like literally like, and it was great to hear that. That's what I get when I ask that question, and people really think on it. They're like, God, what? Even Kiana, who is so new or so early in her recovery, had a, you know, hit it right on the money. She wasn't like, oh, I got my clothes back. You know, it's funny because like in early recovery, the most amazing thing that could ever happen to you is you might have gotten your suitcase of clothes back from the trap house when you were in treatment. And you're like, oh my god, it's like, and you forget how small that really is because then you get clean.
No, my
And
God. You know how many
you-
times
and
I've had to replace my clothes?
And you work a program of recovery and you live for others. Other people live for you too. And like some people, and I'm not saying that you should go out there thinking that you can get clean and will have everything that you need. A lot of people are going to be like, yeah, I got this old suit. Oh, you're getting a business job? Boom, there you are. And like it just happens like that. God is working in your life in ways that you can't even imagine when you do the next right thing. It's way past time for me, but I'm really happy because I've had crazy things happen tonight. Casey asked me to be a sponsor. Everyone came on. I thought I was going to sit here and talk to myself this whole time. There was like no one in here. I can hear karaoke out there, and it's calling me. And I want to say thank you, Casey, for saying all that. And I want to say, you know, if you're having a hard time, reach out to somebody. If you know me, reach out to me because we could talk. But if you don't, reach out to somebody that you know and connect. And connect in ways that you've never connected before because the life that you dreamed about having and the life that you prayed for is coming.
Amen.
Have a good night, everyone.
God bless you.